Hey there, this is Ben Guzman from United Citizens for America. I've got a few articles pulled up here. I wanted to go over some things about manufacturing and the companies that the international companies that use these manufacturing facilities in China and all over the world, really. But we're going to focus here on China. So this Sean O'Sullivan, owner of Empower Productivity Consultancy, gives AHJ readers valuable insight to the difference between Australian and Chinese manufacturing and to opportunities in both countries. He did a case study based on real-world figures with costings verified by a manufacturing firm based in Shanghai with 25 years experience. The case study reveals how, where, and why Chinese manufacturers are so cost and price competitive. The comparative profit and loss statements are presented in this table. So that's just for one company, but the main part right here, this is a comparison of Australia and China and how Australia could become more competitive. But I just wanted to go over these notes right here so you can get a good idea of about the manufacturing that goes on in China and how it works. Chinese manufacturers' cost of goods sold is 2.5 times less expensive than Australian manufacturers because they get a special deal, sometimes subsidized by the government or by the taxpayers, the people who are. Chinese manufacturers' profit is approximately 4 times higher than Australian manufacturers. Chinese manufacturers' costs expanded, all costs outlined in Australian dollars. Chinese wages approximate the following: factory staff, $1.90 per hour, including productivity bonus. Administration staff is $2.50 per hour, and middle management is $12.50 per hour. Chinese manufacturers pay their subcontractors about $10 an hour, approximately 83% less than Australians. Chinese material costs approximately 50 to 66% less. Administrative costs is less because of the low wage. Low wages. Now check out this one. Chinese factory rent costs approximate 75% less than Australian factory rent costs. How? The Chinese government determines the geographical areas in which they require their manufacturing and population to expand. And as a consequence, the Chinese government has been building factories for manufacturers free of charge. So the Chinese government, meaning the people who are paying, who all the money is getting taken from, are building these manufacturing facilities for free. So it's important to understand that the government here controls all this stuff that happens at the manufacturing facilities. There's some other benefits that they have, but moving on from here, we can see that they have, the manufacturing facilities have some significant advantages, and a lot of it is because of really low wages. I mean, how in America even in China you can't even live on $1.90 per hour. In America, that's nothing. Nothing. That's not humane, is what that is. Listen to this. The $1.90 per hour factory staff wage rate is comprised of approximately 63 cents per hour base wage. They make 63 cents per hour. How would you like to go to work and make 63 cents for an hour of working? And approximately $1.27 per hour productivity bonus. When the productivity is not reached, bonus is not paid, and the wage costs drop from $1.90 per hour to 63 cents per hour. More than 482 million people in China, over a third of the population, live on less than $2 per day. 85% of the poor live in rural areas, and extreme poverty forces them to go into factory slave work. Okay, this part is really sad because it's talking about women. Most of them are women who come into the factories to work. Living conditions are poor. You don't have a contract. You're working 7 days a week. You have 6 people sharing small, cramped dormitories at the factory, staying there. The women rarely get maternity leave and have no child care facilities. They're working weeks of more than 70 hours. They have to send their children to live back with the family. They can't even be with their kids. There's no freedom of association to form trade unions, and non-governmental labor organizations are closely monitored by the government, who carry out regular crackdowns. Multinational corporations and national factory owners take advantage of the anti-union climate, the workers' lack of awareness of their own rights, and the Chinese government's unwillingness to address abuse of the migrant workers' rights. In 2009, approximately 1 million workers were injured and about 20,000 suffered from diseases. And it gets worse. Dark truth of Disney's Frozen fairy tale. Inside the sweltering factory where workers make 25-pound Elsa and Anna toys for £5 a day. Workers toil 11 hours a week, or 11 hours a day, 6 days a week, making Frozen toys for Disney Factory in southern China. These employees earn a basic pay of £5.30 a day, 1/10 of the cost of a peak ticket to Shanghai Disneyland. To make ends meet, they work 100 hours overtime a month, through 3 times China's legal maximum of 36 hours. Workers sleep up to 12 in small dormitory rooms with no air conditioning despite stifling summer temperatures. And Disney's doing great. Disney's profits are going through the roof. Disney's making more money than it ever has before. Bosses fine workers who turn up 1 minute late for their shift up to half a day's pay, and hand out New Year bonuses of just 50 pence per employee. Workers are set impossible production targets, with some assembly lines ordered to turn out 1,200 princess figures in 1 hour. Workers complained of filthy, overcrowded toilets and canteen meals so poor they're forced to buy food outside of the facility. These are all the toys that are getting manufactured, made in China, and these are what these people have to live with their job if they ever get a break. Some people are killing themselves. And there's Disney looking so glamorous and beautiful, and all the kids are screaming, "We love you! We love you! Look how marvelous all of your things are." Wow. I mean, meanwhile, while they're basically torturing all the Chinese people, a bunch of people are protesting here in the United States. Disney withhold bonuses as union workers protest poverty wages. Disneyland Resort workers struggle to pay for food, housing, and other basic necessities for living, I'm assuming. Meanwhile, Disney refuses to comment on any of the situation because they're too busy trying to purchase Sky TV, as a part of a package it's buying from Fox, spending more than $31 billion after Comcast made a surprise $31 billion offer for the UK pay TV company Sky, which I heard has about 1/3 of the viewers in the UK watch on the Sky network. So basically Disney would have control of all of that. And they are refusing to comment on the situation in China. University in China apologizes after students forced to do internships. Oh, forced child labor. Good. Use of student interns highlights China labor shortage. So they're taking the kids. Apple admits student interns worked illegal hours on iPhone X. The universities are telling the kids, if you don't go intern, if you don't go work for free at these factories and put these little widgets together, then you're not going to graduate. Good job, Apple. Thanks a lot. This is just disturbing. This is disturbing. This is why it's really important that we don't buy products from China. If we're here in America, buy American-made products. It's very important. China was going to have to learn. You're going to have to raise your prices because they're just sucking all the wealth from all the other countries because they're forcing their people into horrible situations and abusing them. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is standing by, getting our products for free, for a lot cheaper, but at the cost of these people. And then here we even see it in the United States. Disney doesn't care about the people that are working for that organization. They're trying to buy up more media conglomerates. They're trying to buy up other media conglomerates. That's what they're interested in. Obviously, they don't care. They could care less if the people in America were working just like the people in China, sweatshop style. They could care less, obviously. Look what they're doing. Look at their response. They won't respond to any of these horrible violations of civil rights. And now they're just trying to buy up more TV. How? That's just incredible. Well, what are we going to do? We got to buy American. We got to bring manufacturing back to America. We got to get hemp growing here in America. That way we can manufacture our products out of hemp. We can have energy from hemp. And we can get away from the oil. We need to realize who these companies are. Apple, Disney, all these companies that manufacture in China. Number one, China, the communist country, is getting a ton of capital to expand its empire. Meanwhile, all the people, including people in our own country, are suffering because these international corporate conglomerates are going around buying up all the media to indoctrinate people and treating everyone like garbage. Can't go on. We got to stand up against these corporations and against these countries and leaders that think that this is okay. It's not okay.